Hello, everyone, and welcome to CDO Magazine interview series. And I'm Dave Mariani, the CTO and co-founder at AtScale, and we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. And today, I have the pleasure of talking with Kiran Kanetkar. And Kiran is the Senior Director of Data Engineering, BI, and Analytics at Petco. So Kiran, welcome. Good to meet you.
Yes, great to be on this call. Thanks, Dave, for that introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm looking forward to this discussion here.
So let's talk a little bit about switch gears from strategy and roadmap and tools and the like, and talk a little bit about digital transformation and how you accelerate innovation. You know, a lot of people talking about digital transformation. And so so when it comes to your experience and for your business, what does digital transformation mean to you, and what does it really mean to a company like Petco?
Yeah, I think when it comes to digital transformation, Petco as a company, we have come a long way in terms of when I joined back in 2017 compared to where we are today. We used to be a traditional brick and mortar type of a retailer back in 2017, but now we are providing more omni-channel kind of capabilities, best of the both world, online as well as our store. So one of the things actually when I joined back in 2017 is, in stores with people were using kind of paper-based reports and those sort of things back then. So when I modernized all of our data and analytics environment, I provided them with the capability to look at the data and drill down the data using a mobile app. To me, that's really a kind of a digital transformation that we are looking at to make sure we give the power of data to all of our partners, whether they are in store or whether they are in corporate, so that they can analyze that data and make some really good day-to-day decisions so that they can execute better on the overall business strategy.
Yeah, you really had to make that switch because obviously it's not just people don't just shop at brick and mortars anymore, especially during COVID. Online saved a lot of companies, so it was very good that you pushed for that migration and that modernization.
Yeah.
So when it comes to when you think about this agility and the ability to sort of accelerate innovation, what do you think that some of the things that get in the way of that? So what gets in the way, in other words, of people in your organization getting to make data-driven decisions? What are some of the things that sort of are roadblocks that you're working on getting rid of?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the challenges, implementing digital transformation kind of initiatives, is really some of the people and process issues that could be the main challenge. I think technology capability is there, so there is no doubt about it. You have many different tools using which you can achieve a particular business outcome, but then how do you put together a kind of process around that technology and then make sure people can follow that process? I think that's really the main challenge, and so it ultimately boils down to the overall culture. How do you create that kind of a culture in the company so that they can use this data and use these tools in the right way? So having a good balance of people and process capabilities is definitely needed to be successful.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it, Kiran, in the beginning about how important it was for data literacy and governance. So when it comes to data literacy, what are some of the things that have worked for you and your organization in terms of helping the business become more data literate, which hopefully should make them better at self-service and making more data-driven decisions?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the data literacy, one of the things which I have done is really kind of identifying a role. So, in fact, I created a role called data champion. I mean, actually, in the industry term for that is really like a data steward, but I felt data steward as a name wasn't really empowering to the business users. So I called them data champions, and I said, okay, we have data champions for different business domains. and those data champions could be responsible for their own area or their business domain, but they need to collaborate with each other to make sure there are a lot of cases overlapping kind of metrics, so that these data champions can come together and agree on how do we analyze a particular business area, and then how do those overlapping metrics flow from, let's say, customer to marketing to supply chain, those kinds of things. So, and then we just made sure each of these data champion is first literate about their own area, as well as they can enable data literacy across their area with all the other business users within that. And that's where we use the tool like a data catalog, which basically allows us to build a kind of a business glossary of all the different metrics that business uses. And then, so this is where, so catalog is a tool, but now we need to put together a people and a process initiative on top of that to be able
Right.
to, where you can implement that data literacy and data governance using people.
So how did you identify or find your data champions? I love that. I love that idea. Did they self-select, or how did you find them?
Yeah, I think most of these data champions we already knew in some cases for some domains, people who were kind of performing or that kind of a role, but they didn't know that they were really the data champions for their area. So we just had to make sure that formalize that and make sure they know that they are the data champion for this area. And in other cases, in some cases we did not have those data champions identified. So I had to work with the senior business executives to make sure they can identify who would be the right person for that kind of a role in that area and can be the change agent, so that they can enable this data literacy across that domain.
So as a technical organization, Kiran, it sounds like that you partner pretty closely with the business. Can you talk a little bit more about just how you do that? How do you make sure that you're in touch with the business and that you're partnered with them? What kind of when it comes to process, people and process, what kinds of things sort of worked for you on driving that partnership?
Yeah, I think working closely with the different business stakeholders is really important for me, because one, all of these different business domains, they are my customers. So I want to make sure I meet their demands in terms of what they need for analytics purposes. And then one of the challenge which we run into with that is, you have everybody in the business, right? They are looking for, let's say, data and analytics capabilities. And I have a limited number of resources, in terms of people that can really cater to that demand. So then prioritization becomes really important, making sure, which are the initiatives that are really of highest priorities at the overall company level. Obviously, you will have each department will say, okay, mine is the highest priority, but that may not be the case, at the global company level. So I think that partnering with all these business executives to make sure we understand conflicts in terms of these priorities, and then we make decisions which everybody is agreeing to in terms of, yes, this is the absolute priority at the company level, let's focus on this first and then take the next initiative in the following sprint. So I think that collaboration definitely needs to be there, and having that dialogue with different business teams definitely helps.
So Kiran, thank you for joining me today. You really are a pioneer in data and analytics, and we've sort of talked about that today. And so for the audience, please visit cdomagazine.tech. That's cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. So Kiran, thank you for joining us, and have a great day.
Thank you, Dave. It was great talking with you today. Thank you.